Well, hello everybody. Charles Darwin. But I have some good news.
You get to call me Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Well, the Ides of March have come and gone. Whew. I mean, that was close. I was really sweating. And I'm not sweating just because it's so hot down here. Boy, it sure is hot. I was sweating because I was absolutely sure that cancel culture was going to come for me. I'm surprised that I survived Black History Month. I mean, I was really sweating. Really sweating. Why? Do you remember the full title to my book? On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. Well, by the way, let me just say, if you want to be less white, don't read my book, or at least don't take those things to heart that I was saying. And by my book, I'm talking about my sequel. Yeah, in my sequel to my better-known book, On the Origin of Species, one of my other books, The Descent of Man, argued that humans, having descended from ape-like creatures, were continuing to evolve and produce various races. I posited that some races were more developed than others. Throughout my book, I labeled different people groups other than my own European white race as low and degraded, including Africans. I argued that the highest races and the lowest savages clearly differed in their moral disposition. If you read it, you'll see that I was of the opinion that those savages possessed insufficient powers of reasoning. As I stated, I would prefer to be descended from a little monkey or an old baboon as opposed to an Indian savage from South America. Well, I guess I haven't been canceled because cancel culture is willing to overlook where I stated the following. The civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace the savage races throughout the world. Now, when I'm talking about civilized races, you know I wasn't talking about those Africans. Well, maybe cancel culture doesn't know that because they haven't come for me yet. Maybe they don't think I'm racist. Well, that's good. I hope they keep on believing I'm not racist. That means they just won't come for me. Well, of course, racism was around long before my book came out. But check this out. The famous late scientist Dr. Stephen Jay Gould wrote, "Biological arguments for racism may have been common before 1859, but they increased by orders of magnitude following the acceptance of evolutionary theory." And you can read that in a book by S. J. Gould, Ontogeny and Phylogeny. And my unscientific book helped with the acceptance of the unscientific hypothesis of evolution. And that's unfortunate because people have been indoctrinated to believe that humans are just animals, that there is no God, and that there is no absolute authority other than themselves. I guess you could call that toxic Darwinism. You see, the more people accept evolution, the more we see what happened in Judges 21:25 being played out today.
In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
In other words, when there's no absolute authority, anything goes. If evolution is accepted as being scientific, well, people have a supposed scientific justification for rejecting the Creator and living as they please with regards to abortion, sex, and on and on and on. Oh, my goodness. Boy, was I wrong. Oh, to realize how wrong I was, it just brings a tear to my eye. Yeah, I confess I was wrong. Humans are not split into various races at higher and lower stages of evolution, and the European race is not a favored race. Well, maybe they were in my eyes, and they are in the eyes of some white nationalists and a few others also, but not in God's eyes. In God's eyes, everyone is equal. But please, don't tell cancel culture about my thoughts about race. I confess that I was wrong to think that white Europeans were superior to Africans and others. I was wrong to think that talent and virtue are features to be identified solely with Europeans. Boy, was I wrong. I confess that I was wrong to say that savages have low morality, insufficient powers of reasoning, and weak power of self-command. And by savages, I mean non-white European races. But I only said it because I believed it. How wrong I was. Maybe those white nationalists that everyone is afraid of have been reading my book, The Descent of Man. If you read my book, or if you've read it, please don't take to heart those things I said. And if you do read it, please, 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 don't share it with cancel culture. Surely they'll come after me if they get a wind of my thoughts on race. Well, you all have a nice day, and just remember this. Everybody comes from Adam. And further than that, everybody comes from Noah. As a matter of fact, listen to this.
Seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth.
Well, that's all for now. I'm just so glad I survived another Black History Month. I wish I could go back and change it, the things I've said, and I wish it wasn't so hot down here. But I made my bed and I've got to lie in it.
Sorry, Charlie.
Well, goodbye, everybody. Until next time, God bless you.
Sorry, Charlie.